Namaste everybody, welcome back to our 30-day challenge and welcome back to another sunny day in Costa Rica. So today is day 23 and it's called support. So we're going to be working a lot on our feet today and showing them some love. So it's not going to be a strenuous flow today, it's just going to be sending some real love and respect to our tootsies because they do so much for us, so why not? So let's start off on our hands and knees in tabletop. Let's do some cat-cows before we begin. Inhaling, dropping the belly, looking up. Exhaling, arching the spine, drawing the head towards the tailbone. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Take one more here. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now, in our tabletop, really press the feet into the floor and let's lift up just onto the feet, onto the tops of the feet here. And hold that. Let's hold that for 3 breaths. And drop. Now we're going to lift and drop. So let's take 5 of those. Let's inhale as we lift. Exhale down. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe get a bit higher each time, and 5. Let's take another 3 and this time try to straighten through the legs so that we're almost on the tops of the feet but also a little bit on the tops of the toes. So 3 times, inhaling up, exhaling down. Good job. Stretch the arms out. Take a little child's pose here. Drop the head to the floor and inhale and exhale nice and deeply. Take 3 deep breaths here. And let's repeat that one. Coming back to our tabletop, we're going to lift all the way up, straightening the legs only if it's possible for your body. If it's not, then just do what we did in the beginning and just lift up slightly. So inhaling as you come up, exhaling down. Let's begin. 1, maybe hold it just for a second, and down. 2, hold it if you can, really keeping the legs nice and strong. And down. 1 more, 3. Hold it, keeping the legs nice and strong. And down. Good job. Untuck the toes and come back for a seat. So now we're on the toes. Maybe bring your feet together if that feels more comfortable in this position. Try to widen through all of the toes so that even the baby toe is grounding onto the ground here, giving you some support. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. And let's inhale and exhale nice and deeply just for 3 breaths here. Feeling that stretch of the toes. Really getting deep into each knuckle of the toe here. And release. Come down to the ground with the hands, keeping your toes as they are. We're going to just rock back and forth. So rock back onto the heels, lift the toes to the sky, and then rock forward back to the knees. Come on back, lift the toes off of the ground on the heels, and then roll forward. Do this one more time, rocking back onto the heels, lifting the toes, looking forward, and roll forward once again. Now untuck the toes so that you're on the tops of the feet once again. Sit up nice and tall. And from here, we're going to lift the knees off the ground. So you can either place your hands next to the knees and just slightly lift them. You don't have to lift them very high. Or you can start to lean backwards, lifting the knees off of the ground. Keep the heels nice and close together and engaged, and lift the knees off. Only as far as feels comfortable for your body. Some people may be able to go higher than I am. My feet tend to get a little tight. So just stay here. Let's hold this for 3 breaths. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, engage through the core. And take 3 deep breaths. And roll forward. Send your hands to the top of the mat and your hips up and back into our downward facing dog. Let's walk out through the dog, just stretching through the hamstrings, feeling it out. And then become nice and still, sending that tailbone up towards the sky, sucking in that lower abdomen. And if you can, and you remember our class where we spoke about Mula Bandha, the root lock, engage the pelvic floor. Close your eyes, let's take 3 deep breaths. Now inhale, lift up through the toes and just hold that. 3 deep breaths. Exhale, bring your heels back down, only as low as you can. Walk out the legs. And then let's take a really slow walk to the front of the mat. When you get there, take a forward fold, holding onto the elbows. Hang nice and heavy here. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Maybe try to pull yourself a little closer towards your thighs. And then inhale, your hands above your head, touch your palms, and exhale them to the heart center. Now let's look down at our feet. We're just going to do a little bit of quite a simple move, but it's good to stay mindful about the toes and the movement of the feet. So looking down at them, let's inhale, lift all of the toes off of the mat. Engage through the whole body, including the core, hands by the side. Close your eyes. Let's take 3 breaths here. If you need to keep your eyes open for stability, if you're starting to lose your balance, then just keep them open. And let's take 3 breaths from now. And release the toes. Inhale your left leg up towards the chest, hold on to the knee, and we're going to rotate our ankle. So standing on one leg, now we've got balance as well as looking after the foot here on the left side. So stand up nice and tall through the standing leg, even engage the glute. Engage the stomach, and if you fall out of it, don't worry. Let's start to rotate the left ankle in one direction. Take at least 5 rotations. And then let's rotate in the opposite direction. I wonder if your guys' ankles are clicking as much as mine are. It's actually incredible. Take 2 more rotations. And then release that leg. Shake out the standing foot and then shake them both out. We're going to do the same on the other side. So inhale the right leg up, engage through the left standing leg, even engage this glute here on the left side. Suck in the lower abdomen, hold onto the right knee. Find your balance here, looking at your drishti point, finding your focus, something that isn't moving. Oh, I'm much worse on my left side with balance. That's for sure. So don't worry, if you're like me, it's cool, it's all right. Now let's start to rotate that right foot in one direction. Take at least 5. And then let's rotate in the opposite direction. Great. Now let's release that foot back down to the ground. Inhale the hands to the sky, touch them above the head, and exhale down. Let's take our hands to our hips. Take a slightly wider stance this time, maybe hip distance apart or even slightly more if you need to. Hands to the hips or to the lower spine, which is on the sacrum, so not too high up on the lower back, just more on the sacrum, on that harder bit just above the bum. And we're going to send the hips forward only as far as feels comfortable for you, taking a back bend. Inhale, look up. Keep the shoulders back and away from the ears and the elbows drawing together. Inhale, come on up. Bring the feet back together, toes together, heels close together. Inhale the hands, touch them above the head. Exhale, start to fold forward from the hips. Drop the head and inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, fold forward. See if you can pull yourself a little closer towards the thighs. Plant the hands, let's step back into our plank. You can take an easy plank or you can take this version of plank, the stronger, harder version. Push up through the shoulder blades. Exhale, let's come all the way down to our bellies as slowly as you can. Inhale into a back bend and send the hips back behind you. Let's lift up through the feet once again, so keep the feet flat against the ground. Inhale the knees up to the sky, only as high as you can. Maybe you can get them a little higher this time. Perhaps they're feeling a little more flexible already. Suck in that lower abdomen. Look straight ahead and let's take 3 deep breaths. And release. Untuck the toes, tuck the toes and lean back onto the feet so that you've got your toes all spread out underneath the feet here. Now let's take a little toe stand. So take either the hands down to the ground if you need the support to come up. Lift up through the knees. You can take the hands to your thighs, look at something that isn't moving, and stay up on the toes. Find your balance here. Suck in that lower abdomen. Hold this. 3 deep breaths. If you want to, you can bring your hands to your heart center. And again, don't worry if you fall, just come straight back into it. One more deep breath. Hands to the knees, very slowly start to lean back and bring the knees back down to the ground. Let's come back to our tabletop position and we're going to repeat that same thing again that we did in the beginning. Inhaling the hips up and straightening through the legs so that you're almost on the tips of the toes, with the toes untucked so that the whole foot is flat against the ground. Inhale the hips up. Straighten the legs. Hold this for 2 breaths. And drop. Inhale, look up, take a back bend. Exhale, back to neutral. Inhale, lift up, straighten the legs, take 2 deep breaths. And release the legs back down. Inhale, take your back bend, look up. Come back to center, exhale. Inhale, lift the knees. 2 breaths, 1 more. Exhale, release the feet. Come back for a child's pose. Take the arms by the side of the body. Drop the head down to the ground, and let's take 3 deep inhales and exhales here. Wonderful. Let's come all the way down onto our bums. Take the legs out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall, and you're welcome to just keep your hands on your thighs if you want a little extra strength training going on here. Because sitting up nice and tall through the spine while the legs are extended is actually quite hard, because you're also using your abs, you're using your thighs, you're using your hip flexors, you're engaging everything, so this is quite tough. If this is too hard for some of you, and also for the flexibility, take your hands behind you, lean back and just slightly bend the knees. There's no problem, just do that. Be wherever feels more comfortable for you. And we're going to look at our feet and just start to bring them back, bringing the feet towards the body, really engaging them as much as you can. And let's hold that for 3 breaths. And release the legs. Allow them just to relax for a moment. Take the arms behind you if you want to. Take a nice deep inhale through the mouth. And exhale through the mouth. Now let's come on back up wherever you were. And let's point our toes. So really, really point them. Sorry, I think Negrito is, he's found his nemesis, our little yellow bird. He's having a little bark there. Keep the legs nice and engaged. Sit up as tall as you can. Pointing the feet, really, really pointing them. Hold this for 3 breaths. And release, releasing the legs. Maybe give them a little bit of movement. Perhaps slap them against the ground even, can feel quite nice. Lean backwards, take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, release out the mouth. Now come over to the middle of the mat. Bring your inner soles together for our usual butterfly pose. Spread through the toes, and let's give our feet a little massage here. If this is a little tough and you actually struggle a lot with butterfly pose, then maybe just lift one leg up and keep one folding out to the side. And let's massage inside the sole of the foot here, just wherever it feels good, maybe even between the toes and in the knuckles, giving them a little rub. Take your time and find spots that just feel good. And if you've got one leg lifted, then remember just to swap them over so that you can do the other side as well. I can give you a little cue just to remind you. So if you've got one leg lifted, enjoy massaging the foot that's down. Maybe even use both hands on one foot, perhaps even bend through the toes. Whatever feels good here, just giving them some attention, whatever feels right for your feet today. Maybe you want to physically pull your toes back. If you find a spot that you think, oh, I could do with a little bit of pressure in there, then maybe use your thumb and just hold that point just for a moment. For those of you that are massaging just one foot, let's swap over to the other side now. Isn't yoga great? I mean, how often do we ever spend any time on a particular part of the body like this, especially the feet and the hands? They get so neglected, and yet they do so much for us. It's such a shame. So I hope you guys are enjoying this today. Let me know in the comments after the class how you got on and how it made you feel. Spending this time with yourself. Some love and care. So maybe bend through the toes on this side, pulling them in, and then maybe bringing them back the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, let's sit up nice and tall. We're actually going to come down for our butterfly, a nice little hip opener. So those of you that have knees up here, remember that's okay. All you have to do is just hold on to your toes or even onto your ankles, wherever you can grab, and just start to sit up nice and tall and stay there. For those of you that have open hips, allow them to drop open, start to lean forward until you can feel a stretch that feels good for your body, and maybe start to come down even to the forearms, wherever feels right for you. And let's hold this for 3 deep breaths. And release. Walk your hands back towards the body. And let's take a counter pose now. Now that we've opened up the hips, let's do the opposite by bringing that left leg underneath the right leg, bringing it towards the right side of the bum, right leg over the top of the left. And let's take a twist here. So you can just keep your legs like this, or you can come all the way down to Gomukhasana legs, bringing the knees together, leaning forward, bringing them together and sitting back on just between the feet. And take a nice little spinal twist, left hand to the right knee and look over towards the right. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then release. Come back to the center. Stay here for a couple more breaths, and we're just going to rotate the neck a few times. So roll the head forward from one shoulder to the other. Take your time and be really gentle. The neck is such a sensitive area and it's so easy to pull a muscle here. So be really mindful, pay attention. Take 1 more roll. And then wherever you are, let's release the legs. Let's lift up through the right leg. Use your hands to guide it back to the center. Squeeze that knee in towards the armpit. And let's swap over. So take the right leg underneath the left. Take the heel towards the left side of the bum and then take the left leg over the top. Now you're welcome to stay here and take your twist from this position, or we can come down to our Gomukhasana legs, leaning forward, bringing the knees together, opening up through the feet and sitting back in the middle. Sit up nice and tall wherever you are, and let's take our twist. Right arm over to the left leg. Take your twist and look over the left shoulder. I don't know what's happening today, but I'm not getting my lefts and rights muddled up. I don't know what's with my brain, guys. Let's take 3 deep inhales and exhales here. And let's release. Come back to the center. Hands on the knee. Close your eyes and let's take a few more neck rolls. Roll in the opposite direction. So drop your ear down towards this right arm. Oh my goodness. I thought I got all of my lefts and rights right. Almost got it wrong again. And let's start to roll. If you find a spot that you think, oh, that's a good bit, hold it there for a bit. Do what feels good for your neck. If there's a bit that you think, oh, I just need to roll on that bit a little bit, do that too. Take a couple more neck rolls and then we're going to release. Oh, wonderful. Let's release this leg. If you're in full Gomukhasana legs, let's use our arms. Send your hips over towards the right side. Lift up through that leg. Bring it back over the right. Squeeze it in towards the armpit. And then let's release. Take a nice comfortable seat, or you're more than welcome to lie down in Shavasana if that feels really good for you today and you want to lie down and you want to properly rest. But otherwise, take a comfortable seat of your choice. Sit up nice and tall through the spine. Slightly engage the belly. Hands to the knees or even to the lap, wherever feels better for you. Close the eyes, keep the neck nice and long, and roll your shoulders back and down the spine. Allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm here. Close the eyes and let's completely tune into the inner body. Become aware of how this practice has made you feel today. Perhaps you feel pretty relaxed. Perhaps your feet are feeling a little more flexible. Perhaps your feet are just thanking you right now. Let's take a moment here for complete silence. I'll let you all just enjoy the noises here in Costa Rica. I tell you, that's one of our favorite things about being in a country like this, are the sounds of nature around us. It's so peaceful. Even at night time we hear the crickets and things like that. It's just so beautiful. Nature really can teach us a lot about stillness, about presence. So allow all of your thoughts right from this moment to pass you by. Imagine they're clouds in the sky. They're just passing by. They're just saying hello, but you're not going to engage. You're going to let them go. For those of you that are willing to end your practice here, and keeping the eyes closed, let's inhale the hands above the head, touching the palms. Allow the head to follow the palms and then draw them into your heart center. Bow your head. Thank yourself for showing your feet all this time and love and support today. Lift the head, keeping the eyes closed. Let's rub our palms together and create a nice warm energy between them. And then place your palms over the eyes. Take a nice deep inhale. And then open the eyes behind the palms, blinking the eyes open a few times. And then let's draw the palms to the heart center. Namaste, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed today. I'm really looking forward to our next class. Who knows what it's going to be? We'll find out tomorrow. Have a beautiful evening if you did this in the afternoon, and have a beautiful rest of your day if you did this in the morning. Goodbye, everybody. Namaste.